Hi there, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. Right, I am about to, hopefully, land close to a couple of waypoints that I want to get for contracts. I'm a bit further west than I wanted, or slightly more accurately, the contracts have gone slightly east. Yeah. I adjusted partway through, but not enough. So I'm getting very close right now. I'll set up a maneuver node, but I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to run my landing script. I ran it before, if you're watching last episode. Oh, that's loud. Won't talk while that's going on. I ran it before, but I suddenly thought I'd best go check what I'm actually being asked to do, and that's this contract up here. And what I was being asked to do, in fact, was to land on to get it in flight. And fortunately, I happened to be in the right height to get that contract immediately and just do it, which was quite nice. And so then I had to immediately hop and rush off to. Well, I didn't actually have to rush off and hop to the next set of coordinates, but I had to stop landing because I suddenly didn't want to land anymore. So that's what I did. So now it's stopped burning, so I can go to this bit and watch what happens. What's my fuel like? Well, specifically my electric charge is what I'm worried about at this point. I've used a lot of Delta V. I might. It's going to be interesting to see how much I've got, and rather interesting. For once, I'm actually on the day side of the moon, which is rather pleasing. It's looking reasonably flat underneath me, as also that's another nice thing, which doesn't often happen. I think I'm going to have to do. You may or may not see my cursor on you, but I don't know if it's not actually with my. What I'm doing at this second is I am going to have to go and check my scripts, because what I'm going to want to do in a second is I am going to want to verify which in my scripts does my hover and also allows me to also points in a direction that I want to go, because I very clearly am not within effectively the catchment area. Or I could just go north. I think I'll just go north. So there we go, falling from the sky, hoping desperately that I will bang. Suicide burn properly. And there we are, suicide burning properly. Well, north is in fact this way. So we're going to head north. Do this by hovering. I just realised there's actually a bit of a useful thing, which is the Pallas V lander. Actually, there's another way. There might be a better way of doing it, which is aiming myself straight up and then using my RCS keys to give me some speed. Now, Pallas V fell down a big hole. I just realised something I need to do, which is put the panels out and just do that manually. I've got quite a lot of electric charge. Yeah, and you get some from the engines running, so I'm probably not that much in danger of running out, but even so. There's Pallas V. So it's actually going to be a bit of a while. So maybe what I want to do that's the problem, I don't actually have control. Because I've given control over to the hover script, so there's a limit to what I can do at the minute. And because I'm currently bouncing very high above the landscape, basically because I went over that big hill, and the way my hover script works is kind of like going off a ramp and then taking a while to bounce back. So now this is where I want to point completely the other direction and give myself some velocity. So that was a chance that I missed. That's brilliant. Put myself more this way. It's going to take a little while to get here at this rate, and obviously the big problem is I'm going to be running out of delta V while I'm doing it. It would almost certainly be much quicker to actually do a proper hop. I'm going to go with that. And then the problem is landing at the other end, hopefully having enough delta V to get back into orbit still. Alright, so I'm getting reasonably close. I'm going about 100 meters a second, which is quite fast actually. It's 200 miles an hour, give or take. I'm kind of hoping. Right, I think I need to head more this way. Okay, that's not going to happen for a moment. So I'm going to again use the... Oh, that's not right. Ah, which way am I pointing? Am I pointing the right way at all? So I'm going to point this way. Then I'm going to point... That's south. I'm now looking south. So I'm now looking north. So... No, wrong. So I want to slow this way, quickly as I can. and then head east. Oh, I've gone way north. Oh, this is difficult. This turns out to be difficult. So I may end up completely overshooting. Well, I have completely overshot. This is why I need a big arrow. This definitely comes into the subject, the heading of it turns out space is hard. Right. Okay, what I'm going to do is probably failed, isn't he? Okay, so I'm heading. Now I'm heading back south, which is where I want to go. So let's point ourselves back to north. Back to a direction I understand, anyway. Okay. Now going much southerly. I wish I could zoom in a bit more. Well, I've demonstrated that I can move those kinds of distances. In fact, I've demonstrated that I can end up moving further than I intended. So I could really do with a HUD that can set me a target. I think I'm going to have to set up something like that. Now I reckon I should be getting at least one of those. But I'm also running quite close to the point at which I should just take off. Okay, so I'm wanting to go east again. We'll do it this way. It's going to start lowering my hover distance. Maybe it's slightly irritating if I get to the stage of not being able to launch. Especially given that I completely overshot. I must be getting close. I must be getting close. Do I need to go south again? actually go to stop. Nah, I'm not going to make it. Basic problem is I genuinely don't know where I need to be relative to where I am. I don't. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm lowering my seek altitude until I'm trying to do it slowly enough that I'm not going to smash into the ground. Wrong. Meanwhile, I'm also trying to bring myself to a reasonable stop. And quite frankly, at this point, I'm at the stage where I should just go for orbit. Yeah, pants. It looks like I've failed dismally to get there. I don't know how far I'm off. I'm going to take a temperature reading anyway. Well, trust me, apparently I'm taking. I'll take that. Then I'll go and grab the temperature. I was desperately hoping that I had got into the right area without realizing it. Never mind. What we're going to do is we're just going to. I've already got. See if there's any science to be gained from the materials bay or the goo. I don't think there will be. Oh, actually no. Literally quite. Well, no. This hasn't been brought back. But what the hell? I'll keep it anyway. And I'll grab the mystery goo as well. And now all I'm going to do is just see if I can just try and get into orbit. Going to be very close. This is saying I've got 202 meters per second left, and the burn itself is going to be 164. So, sadly, I only just have enough. I only just have enough to get into orbit. I'm not going to be able to do anything fancy schmancy, like, for example, do a rendezvous. I've got a ridiculously high inclination. So I'm going to have to construct something with some fuel to go grab it. That's a bit of a pain. So what I'm learning is that mysteriously hovering across the surface is very expensive, and I'm going to need to learn how to grasshopper. I was able to grasshopper reasonably well. It's just I wasn't very accurate at the end. This thing doesn't have rover wheels, so had this had rover wheels, maybe, just maybe, I would have been able to land and then rove to the side. So it's all. But I've been finding it very difficult to make a useful rover, which, you know, with this kind of design, the reaction wheels tend to overpower whatever the rover wheels are doing. So maybe all it means is what I need to do is create a rover, put action groups on to stop the reaction wheels, and grab them, and then so, you know, I rove around a combo rover and hoverer. The advantage to roving is that it uses electrical power, and you just get infinite electrical power with solar, which is terribly handy. So we're in about 30 seconds to go to get us into orbit. You know, it's a bit of a. I mean, this was a bit of a failure. I got one science thing, but it wasn't enough to actually get me to the next tier of science, which is slightly irritating. And I didn't get the next one. And in fact, I took so long about it that I didn't have enough time to put myself into a sensible orbit, which is a bit of a pain, but there you go. Live and learn. There we go. Right, so the main thing is that I'm in orbit. It doesn't look like I'm going to be smashing into the ground at any point. And I may have to send the big tug after it. Where is the big tug? The big tug will be attached to Athena. And actually, because it's attached to Athena, I'm not going to be easily able to find out how much delta V I've got on it. I know I'm not got anything in there, I know that much. I could possibly calculate it, because it's how much monoprop I've got, plus or minus the engine. So maybe the big tug is going to be able to go grab Pallas VI, but maybe not. But Pallas, well, I mean, the main thing is Pallas VI is not going to die anytime soon. So I've got options. I've got the possibility of mounting some kind of rescue. I'm just heading over to Pallas V to see what's wrong. Oh, is that all that's left of it? Okay, sweet. I thought there was more of Pallas V. No, there isn't. Okay, 10 minutes? No, I can't do anything. Okay, I might just destroy Pallas. Anyway, so there you go. Didn't really succeed there. But I got one of the more aggravating waypoints out of the way. I do have a whole bunch more polar ones out here, but I can possibly do those in one mission. I have to either see if I can get the big tug to rescue Pallas VI, or something else. But I've got the I can go rescue Pallas VI if need be. To be perfectly honest, I'm going to need to make a new generation of Pallas rovers anyway. I'm very close to getting the next bit of science equipment, which is the gravioli detector. So I'm going to see almost anything that I do that gets me more science will get me that, because When did I get that? When did I just got some extra science. I'm not complaining or anything. I don't know when that happened. Yeah, so maybe I'm going to make another palace and set that up and start getting more science, and then I'm going to work out how to get this. I'm going to see if I'm big time with it. Anyway. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you've been enjoying all this. If you want to find out more about Nearly Enough Dice, which is our role-playing game themed podcast and blog, search for Nearly Enough Dice on Facebook or Twitter, and there you will find us. You can also find us at nearlyenoughdice.com, which is our role-playing game themed podcast and blog. And until next time, reach for the stars.